Yes, people, welcome back. It's Uncle P here. Before we start, remember, smash that like button, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Very important. Anyway, this week's topic is about the N-word. Do you use the N-word? What do you think about the N-word? Do you think rappers are killing the minds of our people with this word? Do you think using this word empowers us as people and take away the negativity of the word? Do you think you're subliminally thinking that you're still a slave by using this word? Me personally, I think it should be trashed. I think it should be thrown in the bin. I think it should be blasted out of this universe. I think it should be gone. What do you think? Well, it doesn't matter what I think, does it? Let's take this to the barber shop.
I think it's gone past black people stop using the N-word. I feel like we could probably get to a point where we don't need to use it as much anymore. Like, the original purpose of it has been achieved, and of us trying to use it, it's been achieved, and it's no longer the word that people used to use it for.
I think all Nubian people, black people, should stop using the N-word. I think there's no way of strengthening the N-word. There's no way of turning the N-word around. There's no way of dealing with the N-word. Just get rid of it.
But I mean, if we're going to continue to use it, I feel like as much as we do, I feel like, as with everything else, kind of need to respect the heritage of the word and where it comes from, and respect the fact that a lot of people are still feeling really strong about it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think that all black people should start a little test. I think we should start calling each other brother, and we should start calling each other God or King, yeah, and call every other race nigger. And let's see if the government bans that word and see how quick they ban that word. As long as we're using it amongst ourselves, the government don't care. If we start using it on other people, it's going to be an old different kettle of fish.
I think it's turned into a word that now, especially in America, that other races it's almost turned into a word. It's like, as long as you're not white, you can say it in America. It's weird. It's weird how it's turned. Because the way that I look at the word, you know, the word was used during slavery and stuff, basically to control black people. Like, just a word that, you know, that you know, they knew pissed them off. So after slavery ended, you know, I know a lot of people black people started to use that word as almost like to try and get that stigma off of it. Just like, you know, like, this doesn't bother me, like, I can say it too, you know what I mean? So it's like, if you hear a white person say it, it's still like, it still stings. So yeah, but in America it's weird now, everybody says it. But it definitely shouldn't be like that.
Can't just tell me that's just a word, yeah? Because my forefathers, the last word that my forefathers heard, yeah, right, whether they were men, women or children, before they died, the last word they heard was nigger, yeah? So they can't tell me it's just a word. Well, the Germans were calling the Jews, before they put them in gas chambers, yeah? You couldn't tell the Jew that's just a word. You couldn't tell him. And you will never catch a Jew using that amongst himself.
I use the word, innit? Like, I use it a lot. I just think the meaning behind the word is gone now, because we're in a different generation, so everyone's using it in terms of music or people saying it in the streets or whatever. Like, I just feel like the use of the word is being, like, overflowed anyway. So everyone uses that word, and plus the meaning of it is gone.
For me, it's not a word I use. You know, again, it's the generation I grew up in. I heard a lot of US rap using it. It's not really a word I was encouraged to use, so there's no reason for me to use it. I don't need to address it. However, if someone does use it, I was at a point when I would be triggered. I'm at a place now where I don't really get triggered if someone uses that word, even if they are trying to insult me, for the simple reason, black to me means a lot of richness and good things, a lot of things that a lot of people around me envy in my nature, which I kind of attribute back to the culture I'm from. So when someone uses the N-word, it means nothing to me. It doesn't trigger me. If anything, the only feeling I would get is that I might feel a bit embarrassed, because the expectation is as a black person, what are you going to do about it? But that's nothing to do with how I feel about it. You know, N-word is an N-word, you know.
If you give us shit, we'll turn it into gold. That's what we do, innit? And that's what we did with the word nigger. That word was originally used to make us feel like shit. We turned it around. Now other people want to use the word to make themselves feel good. Other people want to be known as niggers. Other cultures want to be known as a nigger. Not nigger, but a nigger, because it now connotates a cool, affluent, well-to-do, gets pussy type of person. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what we do as black people, you know? So I feel like more people need to celebrate that fact, and the fact that we've taken something that was so negative and now it's the connotation is something that's so positive and so influential. Everyone wants to be that nigga. Everybody wants to be that nigga. Steph Curry is that nigga. Jay-Z is that nigga. You know what I mean? Barack Obama is that nigga. You know, regardless of what you think of the word or where the word comes from. As we said before, times change.
I'm saying, oh, we're using it to take the sting out of the words. It's bullshit. You're just using that word because you jump in the bandwagon and you want to follow fashion. You understand what I'm saying to you? My father had to fight for that word, yeah? He had to break heads for that word. Why did he do that? So he can make a better life for me, yeah? I had to break heads for that word so I can make a better life for my children, yeah? These kids don't understand that. And I think if I could turn back time now, I wouldn't try and make a better life for them. I'll let them ride the shit. Do you know what I mean? Because all the stuff we went through as people back in the day to help to forward our next generation, they don't care about that. Do you think they care about that? They don't give a damn about that. They don't care, oh, that was then. But if we didn't do what we did back then, your ass would still you'd be still getting your flipping head kicked in by police, by skinheads. The reason why white people in America and every race of people in America is using the N-word, yeah, is the same reason why Indians or Pakistanis are calling each other Paki out there. Yo, wagwan Paki, what's up Paki, what's up my Paki? Because they're jumping in the bandwagon of black people, yeah? Because black sells, yeah? Because we call each other nigger, Pakistanis want to say, yeah, let's call ourselves Paki. Do you know what your father went through for that word Paki? Every weekend, he had to fix up his shop because white people were coming into his shop, smashed up his shop and spitting in his face and calling him a Paki. But now you want to walk around and call yourself a Paki. What sense does it make? You're jumping in the bandwagons, black sells. Everyone wants to be a nigger because it's fashion.
Kids already know. I mean, they still only teach black history as far as it starts in slavery in school. Kids already know where that word comes from because they won't let us forget it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So dragging them back to the history books and saying, look, that's when we was dogs and I don't see how that's helpful. I don't see how that increases progression. I just see how that fuels that same chip and the same hate and rage that he's got. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we should forget about the past. Hell no, we should definitely not forget about the past and our past treatment. But I really do feel like if we're ever going to move past that and become more than what they said we were, then we do need to let certain things go. You know, never forget, but move on. You know what I'm saying?
All the young people out there that don't understand, they don't understand the concept of me saying that they shouldn't use the N-word. It's not that they don't understand, they don't care. That's all it is, they don't care. They jump on the bandwagon, yeah? It's just, to them it's just fashion.
80% of my friends are black, you know what I mean? And they call me the N-word. Like, obviously me, I'm not white, innit? Like, I might look white, but I ain't white. Like, I don't consider myself as white. Like, I don't look at color, innit? You know what I'm saying? But the N-word, I won't use it, personally. But if I'm drunk and I'm out with my boys and we're all waved and everything, bruv, if they're calling me, I'm gonna say it back, because it don't have a bad meaning as friends. Like I was saying in the shop, like, it's a term where I use, or my friends use, and it don't mean, like, it means we're closer than just friends. Like, from when a boy calls me that, knowing exactly what the word means, if they feel comfortable saying that word to me, then that's not just saying like, oh, my boy or whatever, like, it's deeper, you know what I'm saying?
This nigga's ancient, he's old. No one's been through his time, yeah? Uncle Pat, I'm sorry, you old, son, you old, yeah? Not exactly everyone's been through your time. Like, not exactly everyone can understand what you're saying. We do get it, but we won't get 100% because we haven't been through it at that time. When he said 25 years ago, people, it was 25 years ago, innit? He said it. I'm 23. I wasn't born yet. I was born 2 years after that. I won't understand fully, but I get it. In school, I've learned it. Like, in school, oh yeah, the white guy said to black guys, slaves. Yeah, I get it. I understand, but I'm in a different time. I'm using it now.
The Serbians, when the Serbians, Albanians had the war and that, if they had a word for us, like, we would try flip it, so now it's a positive thing. Like, it's a thing where it's rising us up as people, not putting us down like it used to.
Younger generation is just another word. It's just been turned into just like, you know, like slang. But I can see the problem for the older generation, just because, you know, they went through more of the struggle of just racism and civil rights movement and all that stuff. So I can see why people have a problem with it. Me personally, in my house, I wasn't allowed to say it. Like, it just, like, for my family, it just wasn't something that was said or that needed to be said in the house. But at the same time, I mean, when I was outside of the house, I said it. But I knew the meaning of it, I knew the magnitude of it, and I knew how to use it. So it's just, I mean, I think it's just like any other, like, it's just like any other word. If you use it properly and you don't, you know, use it towards anyone, like with anger or anything, then I mean, I think it's just, you know, just another word. It's just slang.
Things have moved on now. You don't have to call yourself a nigger no more. You've got nothing to prove to anybody. Yeah, eradicate from our speech. So our children, so not my children, because my children are big now. So the next generation after me, their children can stop using that word. Eradicate it. Stop being a sheep. Stop following and making and justifying why you're using that word, because you've got no reason to be using that word.
If he says that you've taken the power of the word, then why can't other races say it? It still offends. Like, even if a white person went up to Jay-Z and said nigga, like, it would still offend him.
I started to realize that people were just using the word because they wanted something to get me angry about. It could have been any word. It could have been fruit pastel. Do you know what I mean? If they knew that that was the word that was going to trigger a response from me, they would have said fruit pastel. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have an issue with people that want to trigger a reaction from me, not with people that use a word. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm angry. I don't like racists, but using the word nigger doesn't make you a racist. Do you understand what I'm saying? Wanting to insult me with that word makes you a racist.
If you choose to use it in your journey, that's up to you. I'm just not going to use it. I think for me, I think what we all of us as black people, we all have to go on that journey is self-healing. We need to upgrade the way we're thinking as a community and as an individual, but it starts individually first, and then it starts to filter through as a community. I don't think we can force the process in the way that it feels like it's being done. I think it has to be organic. And it starts with yourself as a person, regardless of your colour skin, just as you as a human being that breathes.
If all the rappers and that said to everybody out there, stop using that word, we'll stop using it. Trust me, we'll stop using it. Richard Pryor went to Africa and he goes, you know what, yeah? I always say the N-word, I always say nigger. But when I went to Africa, I didn't see not one nigger there. I saw hard-working people struggling to find money to feed their families. I didn't see one nigger, and he eradicated that word from his jokes. And he built himself on the word nigger. He built his old flipping act on the word nigger. You know why? Because he was getting paid to say the word nigger. He was getting paid to drum it, to drill it into people's heads. Yeah? Rappers need to pull their heads out their arse and stop chatting bullshit. Biggie said, I remember that when I used to eat sardines for dinner. Have you seen the size of that guy? Do you think that guy ever had to live on sardines? No, he wasn't, bruv. You was eating Big Mac and steak, all right? Your mum was feeding you properly. They're always telling lies. Rappers need to pull their head out their arse. We are dying as a people. They couldn't kill us physically, so now they've got to kill us mentally. Yes, Barber family, so that was another topic for this week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next week for another